normally resist or avoid, and I help people to think differently about those activities so that they can be the very best version of themselves. So that's what gives me the most joy.
Oh my goodness. Oops, we were muted. Thank you, Joanna Brown from Austin, Texas. Oh my God.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I had it unmuted before because, anyway, so.
Should we start again?
Yes, we'll start again.
Yeah,
Hey, okay.
Take two.
This is what happens when you're live. So, everyone, I am Meshell Baker. We're coming to you live with my fabulous mentor, Leigh Ashton. She is the #1 contributor of the blog. She is the author of I Sell, and she's just an incredible woman. I am Meshell Baker, your host. I am the Director of Global Sales Development with the National Association of Sales Professionals. I am an expert confidence coach, a sales success strategist, and I am now an award-winning international keynote speaker.
Woohoo! Do that bit again. Woo!
All right. And I have with me an amazing woman of sales and influence, Leigh Ashton. And as I tell people, when you're a woman that's incredible and you're confident, you do not hesitate to say who you are and what makes you amazing. So on this show, we model that by having all the guests say what makes them awesome. So, my fabulous mentor friend, what makes you awesome?
Okay, so what makes me awesome is, and it's different things for different people, but what gives me the most joy and that I have the most impact with is helping people to think differently so that they feel more confident to step outside of their comfort zone and take on sales activities that they either find uncomfortable, they avoid, because they've got stuff going on in their mind about why they can't do that thing successfully. And so what gives me the most joy is changing the way people think so that they can take that step outside their comfort zone in a way that works for them and be the very best version of themselves when it comes to sales.
Yay. See, this is why we're like, besties, because it's the same thing. Love that mindset, because so often women, especially in life and corporate, especially, have so much confidence, and then they don't have the confidence. So being able to know who you are and why you're doing it, it transfers to the buyer. So I'd love to hear more about how you came to that being. Like, that it's not just like we wake up one day and say, I want to teach people how to be more confident in sales.
Yes, it is a journey, as it is for most people doing what they love. They kind of follow a route where they get insights along the way, and at the time you don't really know that they are really important occurrences in your life. And when you look back, you can see, oh wow, that was when I made that decision. So what brought me to this point was I was really successful as a salesperson. Didn't really know why, to be honest. I just went out there and did what seemed natural to me, and that created a lot of success. And then I got promoted to sales manager, and then I learned very quickly that whilst I felt really great about selling, not everybody felt that way, even people who were in a sales role. And so I would share what I did that helped me to grow my sales success. And I was really confused by how some people wouldn't do something that would help them be more successful. So, people fell into three camps. There would be the first group of salespeople that go, oh, Leigh, that sounds amazing. I'm going to do that. And off they would go and do it. The second group were, Leigh, that sounds amazing. And off they would go and carry on doing what they were doing before. And the third group was, that won't work for me. So that then sparked something in me to find out, why would people do that? Why would people not do or avoid doing something? And that led me down the path of psychology. And then after going to learn lots of modern day psychology, like accelerated learning, NLP, anything of the neurosciences, quantum physics, all of that stuff helped me to understand how I could best support people because really what goes on in a person's head has the biggest impact on whether they're going to be successful or not. Just in sales, not just sales, in anything. But because my arena is sales and I love it, that's where I ended up working. So that was how I ended up on this path because I knew that it doesn't matter how good a trainer is, anyone who trains skills doesn't necessarily mean that that person's going to take on those skills. You have to get that bit right for them to take the skills on and do them.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up doing writing.
Yes. One of the things you just said that I found would be so true, and it's that our thoughts are more important. And I know I was looking at that, so I was thinking about, like, I've heard that there's a number of thoughts we have in a day, and so the research I showed was that we have 8,000. We speak 8,000 to 20,000 words a day, depending on your gender or your ethnic origin.
We must do much more than that.
I don't know if they, if it was for salespeople, because I know salespeople have to spend a lot, speak a lot more, right? And then, but we think 80 to 100,000 thoughts, right? So look at the difference in the number of thoughts, and how do you, so when you're thinking about people and you're working with them, how do you help them with their thoughts? Like, what is some of the things that, or some of the thoughts that you've seen that people started with and maybe changed to?
Okay. So out of all of those thoughts, what you have to remember is some of them are good. So you don't have to worry about those. All right. So now I think that the biggest barometer of your thoughts is how you feel. So if your body feels positive, then you know that the trigger thought that creates that feeling, because there's always a trigger thought that creates a feeling. When you have a positive feeling in your body, that tells you that your thinking is in a really good place. And that is because you can't have a negative thought and a positive feeling. It doesn't work like that. So you have to have a positive trigger thought to generate a positive feeling in the body. And when you've got a positive feeling in the body, your actions are much more focused, because it's like every cell of your body is going in the direction. So your thoughts trigger your feelings, which then trigger your actions, and that gives you the result. So what I think is really important is to make sure that you notice how you're feeling before you do an activity, especially an important activity. So if you feel any negative feeling in your body, really there's no point in doing the activity, because you can't give it your all. You can't give it 100%, because you've got a negative trigger thought, a negative feeling in the body, and that dissipates your energy in all different directions. So it's impossible for you to do a laser focused action, because there's a bit of you wanting to do it, and then there's a bit of you pulling back. So you get this tension. So when you do have a negative feeling in the body, that is your body telling you it's not that happy. And so you don't have to know the actual trigger thought exactly verbatim, but it could be something, you just take a guess at it. It could be something, I really don't want to do this. Now that's fine if you don't need to do it for the outcome that you want. But if you do need to do it for the outcome that you want, say it's picking up the phone or having that difficult conversation, then you have to change the trigger thought. So say the trigger thought is, I don't really want to do this. And the activity is picking up the phone to make a call to a prospect, for example. Then you have to change the trigger thought. So I always suggest come up with 5 or 6 alternative trigger thoughts and just see how they make your body feel. So I don't want to pick up the phone to this prospect is the thought that's triggering a negative feeling. And 5 or 6 alternatives could be, well, every time I pick up the phone to a prospect, I'm practicing my approach on the phone. Every time I use my approach on the phone, I'm getting valuable feedback to know what to tweak. Every time I pick up the phone to call a prospect, I'm getting an opportunity to start a really great relationship. Just make up whatever thought, because there's so many different perspectives. And when you've got 5 or 6, you pick one and ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Well, actually, Now, if I picked, every time I pick up the phone, I get an opportunity to practice my approach. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter whether the person's interested or not interested, because I still feel valuable about doing something. Or every time I pick up the phone, I get better and better. You know, it doesn't matter what you come up with, as long as you go, you know, I feel okay about that. You don't have to be jumping up and down for joy. You just need to feel hopeful about picking up the phone, and so that you feel good. And the more times you do it, the more you'll go, it's just a game. This is just a game.
Yes, I love that.
And no one's gonna die. You know, if I screw it up, you know, everyone, like, that person puts the phone down and they've forgotten you 10 seconds later. So it doesn't matter. Just a game.
It is just a game. You know, I can remember the term smile and dial.
Yeah.
It was when I was first taught, because I first learned, I first did sales on the phone, and then I was promoted to field sales. And, you know, when you're in the field, you're generally standing up or you're giving presentations, so it's easier. But remembering that body language, like you said, you know, because communication is what, 55% body language, 38% tone. So sometimes just get up, right? And another term that I say, motion changes emotion, right? So if you're not feeling good, if you stay seated, you're going to stay in the feeling. Changing your energy sometimes. Well, I like to, like, I won't tell many people this, but I like to dance. So sometimes I have a Pandora playlist that will shift my energy and get me back into, because it's just that momentary doubt, or, you know, something has happened, a change, and I just want to get back to the vision, back to the belief of what I know I'm creating, right? To know the value.
Do you know, there's something really genius about it. You know, when you talk about the doubt, that's a very heady thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start overthinking, you are definitely in your head. And the best way of getting out of your head and getting the energy into your body is movement. So it's dancing. So sometimes, I'm going to share something with you. When I'm having a tough day at work, I go to the bathroom and I go into the cubicle, and because there's music in our bathroom, and I just dance. I just do a little bit, and I go, oh, that's it, I feel better. And one day I was in the cubicle just doing my moving thing, and then I went, oh, and then I heard outside, are you okay in there? Is that person talking to me? And I went, are you talking to me? She went, just wanted to check.
Very nice.
So getting into your body, putting some music on that makes you feel good in your body, just shifts your mind straight away.
Yes, yes. And I love the intentionality of this, because many people, I mean, I won't say many, but some of us weren't raised to know that we could recalibrate our feelings, that energy. We were raised to believe that if I felt it, I need to honor it. Right? And I said, the only thing we're required to honor is our vision. The vision of us becoming our highest and best self. And if that feeling doesn't serve you, then get a new one. Right? Yeah. And that's what sales is. Sales is I always tell, sales is rented, not owned. Or sales success is rented and it's not owned. So the rent has to be paid daily. So every day, the most successful people have some type of routine, something they do, or I should say we, because we're successful people, right?
That's right.
We have something we do every day to help remind us that today is going to be a good day, right? Because we don't rest on the fact that I made an incredible sale yesterday, because today is a new day, right? And, so whatever that is, and many people in our culture and society are not taught to do something every day to remind their mind, those 80 to 100,000 thoughts, to work in your favor. We're allowing everything external to dictate who we are instead of taking a hold, because that's your genius. That's your wealth. That's your abundance. Those thoughts are yours. Take them back and get some sales success.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. You triggered another thought for me, Meshell, and that is that even when, like, if you're in if your business is not necessarily daily sales, for example, and you're not getting a sale every day. You know, my business isn't that kind of business. Neither is yours.
No, not really. No.
So you have to have that energy in between to keep you in the best state of mind. Like, you know, that state of mind when you've just got a sale and you're really super happy. So I really am a believer in doing something every single day that contributes to you generating more sales. I call it income producing activity. So either picking up the phone to a prospect, or sending someone a text, or seeing something in the news and saying, oh, I saw this and thought of you. I do something like that every day, even when I'm delivering a training program. So I could be delivering a program for a number of days, but in the morning on the way there, or in the morning while I'm having a cup of coffee, I'll send a text to somebody and say, how's it going? And I do something every single day that, for me, even if it's only one small thing, I have done something to contribute to the future of my business sales. And when you do that, it's incredibly reassuring. So it's better to do something every day and say, all Friday afternoon, I'm going to work on income producing activity, because it is the consistency that generates results, which is why if you visualize yourself, your very best version of you that you are aiming for every single day, then that is going to be the very best thing that you can do, because it's going to inspire you to take that action every day.
Yes, yes, I love that. And research has shown that, for example, exercises is always a really good metaphor that people can visualize. That if you want to create a exercise habit, 15 minutes a day is better than an hour 3 times a week. The consistency of your mind, the 80 to 100,000 thoughts, right? That it, as you were saying, they will start to work on your behalf. And I know for myself, like I did the New York City Marathon, not this year, but last year. And I'm going to say it out loud. I have been called out by some of my friends who just did it this year and want to do it next year to rejoin. So yes, I'll be doing the 2020 November New York City Marathon.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, you know, and this time I'll be more focused on acquiring expertise help, right? So not attempting to do everything on my own. But having said that, it's going to take persistence, patience, because my body is going to resist me, right? It's going to be like, Meshell, I'm sorry.
It's raining, it's snowing,
it's cold.
It's too cold.
Right? And that's what you were saying, in any area of life, not just for salespeople, but anybody watching this, any profession you have, any relationship you have, anywhere you want success. Success in every category requires paying the rent daily. If you have a relationship, you don't stop courting that person because you married them. The people who have the most successful relationships continue to court throughout the marriage. They'll tell you, go talk to people who are 40 years in marriage and they look like they just teenagers in love. They'll tell you it's been work. And I didn't always like her, but I always loved her and respected, right? So it's right. So that's what we must have for ourselves, right? You don't always have to like yourself, but always love yourself and always love what you're doing. Always love your vision more than anything else, because that love for self will help you will elevate you above any circumstance. Right? You might fall down, and I shouldn't say might. You are going to fall down, right? Because success is failure, right? Success is simply failure without staying down. That's all it is. Anybody who has had any level of success will tell you how many times they went broke, how many times they failed, how many times they felt stupid or looked stupid or showed up and said the wrong thing, right? And they just kept believing in the vision that they loved more than that momentary setback.
And you know, there's a difference between optimism and faith. You know, that kind of deluded optimism where you go, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But actually, you're not really doing the stuff that's going to make it great, but you keep thinking it's going to be great. It's different from, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep getting in the ring. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep getting in the arena. I'm going to keep doing this stuff, even though I'm not seeing results right now, because I know that if I keep doing this, I will get there. And so there's a difference between deluded optimism than faith or grounded optimism is what I would call it. And I heard only today I was listening to Brene Brown speaking to, I know she's amazing.
Hello, Brene, if you're watching this.
Yeah, we love you. We love you. And I was listening to her book, Dare to Lead, which I've listened to about 4 times. I just love the thing. And she was talking to this guy who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam, you know, someone in the US Army. And she asked him which people didn't survive. And he said it was the optimists, because they go, we're going to be out by Christmas, and then they weren't. We're going to be out by Easter, and then they weren't. And actually they were crushed. And he said, and that's where he says faith is different to optimism. Faith is, I'm going to do what I need to do to get through this and come out the other side. And so, and being an eternal optimist and being one of these people who in the past has been deluded, I say it hand on heart, that you think, yes, it's going to be great, but you really do need to make sure that all you've got is a tick for you to get to the other side.
This is like, I have like goosies, and I was typing this in. So if you see me keep looking down, I am, see, that's me looking at me. So I'm watching the feed to say hello. Joanna Brown has been our faithful follower. She's the one that let us know that the sound was off.
Yes.
Hello, Joanna.
Thank you so
and
much.
Joanna's also
we
delightful.
could still be talking and no one could be hearing us.
I know. Thank you for just being, for sharing that, because so many people will see it, judge it, and log off. But you actually took the time to let us know. So thank you so much. And she's also delightful. I get to hang out with her periodically and do fun stuff. We went to go see the Downton Abbey movie together. Yes, and I'm in London now.
And I have never seen an episode of Downton Abbey, and I live in London.
And then there's Jai Shelby, who's watching, and I've known her for quite some time. And she's a powerful gift to help women who are rehabbing. So she's really had that life that, you know, hit rock bottom and brought herself back up through, you know, the support and accountability. And that's what she creates for women. So she's absolutely incredible. So those are the 2 I know are watching. If anyone, if you didn't comment, I don't get to see, but I see people are watching, but I don't know it's you unless you comment. So I cannot shout you out. So, but I appreciate you ladies for commenting, and whomever else is watching this, you are truly appreciated. And I know that our goal is that this has helped you to make a better decision so that you'll step into your greatness, because we all have an infinite ability to be great.
I truly believe that everyone is on this earth with some unique superpower, and some people know what that superpower is, and some people maybe feel that superpower but haven't got the courage to go out in the world. So if what we've talked about today has inspired you to share that a little bit more, that gift of yours a bit more, then that would just be phenomenal. And if there's any questions that you would like to have asked, and maybe you're not watching this live, you're watching the recording, please do ask the questions in the comment box, and I am definitely happy to get as many questions as you want to throw at me, if you're happy to talk to a Londoner.
She's delightful. If you want to ask her a question, definitely, or you can private message the question, or and you know what, and I can put your email and chat too.
Yes,
so that they can get in touch with you.
You definitely can. You know, I can talk about this stuff for hours and hours and days and days. So I love getting questions. So please feel free.
Yes, and so we're gonna wrap it up. And I'd love for you to share with anyone, if they, you know, have seen this and they'd love to get in contact with you and know more about what you do. And, you know, she loves to come to the US and do sales training, by the way. So I'd love for you to share like the awesomeness that is what you do. So if anyone sees this, they get a chance to reach out and connect.
Yes, and if it's near you, you can come and have a chat with me in person.
Yes, if you're a Londoner, yeah, she's right here.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone.
Yay! So you guys have a really great Monday, rest of the day. For my Americans, this morning, it's also Veterans Day. They had their celebration here, which was beautiful, right? They have this 2 minutes of quiet that I got to participate in.
Why do you do that in the States?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, yes. Here in the UK, we do 2 minutes silence at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November. So it's 11, 11, 11. And the closest Sunday to that, we have ceremonies all over the country where we lay wreaths and we have our 2 minute silence on the Sunday. And I went to one yesterday and we had some armed forces guys playing the bagpipes, and it's just beautiful. It's really very, very moving, very moving.
It was powerful for me to participate in remembrance of veterans in one country, and then to wake up and know that I was, celebrating my country the next day. This has just been an incredible trip all around. So thank you. I'm gonna hug you so everybody can see. And I'm going to see you guys next week. And I would love to share with you, National Association of Sales Professionals is the sponsor of this Monday interview. So what we offer there is a seller style assessment. If you've never checked to see what your selling style is, if you want to know more about being more successful in sales, take the assessment. You go to www.nasp.com/join, and you can check and see the seller style assessment. You'll get a feedback. You'll get your current selling style, your ideal, and tips on becoming an incredible salesperson. So yeah, so thank you all, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much. Bye. I'm ending the meeting.